Beautiful Boy is quite a powerful film. This was released in 2018. It's directed by Felix van Groeningen, written by Luke Davies and Van Groeningen, based on Beautiful Boy, A Father's Journey Through His Son's Addiction by David Sheff. And also Tweak, Growing Up on Methamphetamines by Nic Sheff. And this is based on a true story. It's based on the relationship between David and his son Nic, and Nic is on drugs. Basically, he is starting to take drugs, and then we realize that quite quickly he develops a drug addiction and is in and out of rehab and is basically struggling to beat this addiction. And it's largely from his father's perspective, which I thought was a really interesting angle. And I think that if there are, I don't know this for a fact, but I would imagine that if there are parents watching this in the same position as David, trying to help their child, and sometimes the child seems like they want help, sometimes they just want to gravitate towards the drugs, which certainly seems very believable. I imagine there will be that kind of comfort in knowing you're not the only person going through this. I don't know whether or not there's any actionable advice or if there are any tips in this that could help. But certainly, I think even just providing that reassurance that you're not alone, that other people go through this, that there are maybe other people in real life that you can turn to for support, I think that that could be really quite beneficial. And that alone is something that I think is great about the film. Obviously, it's raising awareness of this kind of addiction. It does not glamorize it at all. There are many films where we see people taking drugs, they're at parties, it looks like a really, I don't want to say exciting atmosphere, because to me it seems horrendous, but to some people that seems exciting, that seems thrilling. But with this, for me at least, there wasn't really anything that claimed to glamorize that, and I thought that that was a really sensible decision, and the performances are incredible. We have Steve Carell as David. We have Timothée Chalamet as Nic, and I just thought they gave absolutely incredible, moving performances that were just absolutely brilliant. Very emotional as well. And I don't want to say ultimately what happens. I didn't know. I had no idea what direction this would go in, and I found that it was a really compelling journey that felt too realistic, but in a way that is fully praising the film. It felt realistic, but that meant that it wasn't the easiest watch. There are a lot of emotions in this, and it's incredibly powerful and incredibly moving. And honestly, I have nothing but praise for it. It is absolutely not the easiest watch, but I would say it's absolutely worth it. I have no connection. Thankfully, I have no connection to anybody going through what David and Nic went through, but I would imagine that if you do, there will be a lot to take away from this film, even if it's only just that reassurance that you're not alone in a world that I imagine does feel very lonely and very scary. But there are other people who have gone through it, who are going through it, and you're not alone. And I think even if that's the only takeaway somebody has, I think that's pretty important. But there is a lot of value in this. There are a lot of takeaways, and even if, like me, there are no connections with any of that, but you're looking for that powerful viewing experience that will make you feel a lot of different things, then Beautiful Boy is definitely worth watching. Powerful story. I don't know how accurate it is to the true story, but I imagine it's quite close. But correct me if I'm wrong on that. And in general, it's a powerful film, a well executed narrative with some incredibly powerful performances, a lot of emotions. Definitely not the easiest watch, but that being said, I'd say Beautiful Boy is one that is definitely worth watching.